God's Well. On March 9th, 1985, 3 divers entered the dark depths of God's Well sinkhole in Clarendon, Jamaica. The divers were Donahoe Lung, Sylvan Gutknecht, and Keith Campbell. Inside a narrow chamber, 170 feet down, the water suddenly turned to silt, blinding them. Donahoe Lung became disoriented and ran out of air before she could escape. Her body was found days later, deep in the sinkhole, with empty tanks and no clear path out. April 10th, 2025, exactly 40 years later, a new team of divers sets out to explore the same deadly place. But before they descend, we must return to where it all began.
Hi Raj, welcome.
Hey,
Come
nice.
in. Good to see you.
Good to see
Come
you too.
in.
Wow, it's a nice place you have here.
Thanks very much.
Alright, so this is Miss Deborah Chen. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Good to
Raj.
have you on the show, right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. So she's actually one of the divers, rescue divers from back in the day, 1985 to be exact. And tell us more about that.
So God's Well, as you know, it's a location. I think it's more in Manchester than Clarendon.
Yeah,
even though-
because I think there's a little thing where it's in Clarendon and it's in Manchester.
Yes, if you look, it's probably on the border, but I would say more to Manchester side. So in those days, in the early 1980s, the Jamaica Sub-Aqua Club, which is a branch of the British Sub-Aqua Club, in fact, the first branch of British Sub-Aqua Club overseas, used to dive there regularly.
Okay.
So, as you know, God's Well is quite deep from the edge. We're not talking about the water now, just from the top to go down to where the water is about 80 feet. So the club had got a special rope ladder made just for that dive. And then they would lower the scuba gear down on a rope and then they would climb down the ladder. So this was a regular dive site that the members used to have. So unfortunately, one day they decided 3 club members went on the dive as usual, nothing out of the ordinary. The water was crystal clear and the plan was to dive to the bottom of the cave and then decompress, meaning stop at certain points coming up to decompress, and that would be the end of the dive. Okay. Well, the plan was just to go straight down.
You know, it can be a bit carried away sometimes with diving.
So they had planned to do a dive to 160 feet, what we would call a decompression dive. So that is when as we dive deeper, the nitrogen builds up in our tissues. So if we go deep for a certain length of time, we have to stop at a certain point. So they had planned to do that, to do 160 for like 10 minutes, but then come up and stop for a few minutes and come up and stop higher for a few minutes. However, when this happened and Sylvan turned around and couldn't find the exit, by the time he was looking around, he ran out of air. So he had to literally just bolt for the surface without doing a decompression stop. And unfortunately, Donna didn't follow.
Oh.
You know, and then the other guy, Keith Campbell, who was waiting outside but higher up than them, he didn't have enough air either. He apparently was hanging outside the cave, sort of shining his light to see if that would, show them how to come out.
Yeah.
So they both went up and Donna didn't surface. The outcome of that with Sylvan, who had been down there that length of time without a decompression stop, was that he had to go to Discovery Bay to the recompression chamber. Decompression chamber for treatment, because as a precaution, because you don't know if you're going to develop what we would call the bends.
Decompression sickness.
Right. So that was it. I mean, it was most unfortunate. What happened after that was the following day, myself and another dive partner, Crocodile, went back. Some other club members came. They stayed on the ridge at the top. So we went down and we were asked to go and see if we could find her. So the 2 of us went down and Tora was ahead of me on a rope. But when we got down deeper, the visibility was deteriorating because I would imagine the silt from the day before hadn't settled. And then he went off on a rope and to hold on to him, but then after a while you couldn't feel him because the rope was getting snagged on tree roots and branches that probably got into God's Well, like with storms or wind or whatever. So we realized that it was getting too dangerous.
So what happened after that?
So that day, the chairman of the club at the time, Carly, got in touch with a cave diving association in Florida. These are well-trained persons used to cave diving, and asked them if they could come down and assist to retrieve her. So they, it took a couple days to get the airline sorted out and all the equipment and the permissions to bring the equipment in and so on. So eventually they came and set up. That was a few days later, unfortunately.
You have to get permits to...
Well, because they were bringing a lot of diving equipment.
And
you know, with customs and all that. I mean, a lot of stuff. Yes, everything they were bringing. So the airline had to be involved and so on. So that didn't happen. Her body was not actually retrieved until the 15th of March. Bearing in mind this incident happened on the 9th.
Yes.
And Tora and I would have gone down on the 10th. But by the time all those arrangements were made and the equipment was there and we went back to the site, which as you know is remote, right? It's off a dirt track in the bushes. Then that was the 15th. So then they did what they had to do. It was quite an elaborate setup with all sorts of pulleys over the top of the God's well itself. They carried a body bag with them, which is usual in these circumstances. So that at least when they brought her up, there was kind of respect there. And so unfortunately, that wasn't a very nice ending to the...
Yeah, but the sheriff's report that you sent me, I was reading it and I realized some information in it, and I mentioned it to you and you said it was incorrect. So could you point that out to them and let them understand further?
The sheriff's report, it described most of the incident, accurately. And it said something about, the two divers from the club went down to try and find her, and then they were overcome by nitrogen narcosis and had to surface.
You have the actual sheriff's report?
So that wasn't true.
So she has a whole book about the caves in Jamaica, as you can see. So in this book we also have God's Well, which we're going to show you further down into the video. Well, yeah, this is the actual sheriff's report.
Right, yes, my friend Crocodile gave me a copy. So it makes mention here of this sentence here is inaccurate, where it said the extreme depth, no visibility caused him to become overcome with nitrogen narcosis. That part is actually inaccurate because it was actually the poor visibility and being snagged on the tree branches that caused us to abort the dive. We did abort the dive, but it wasn't due to nitrogen narcosis. As I was explaining, the visibility was very, very poor.
Yes.
And there was a lot of branches and we couldn't see them. And the rope to tie us together so that we could monitor each other was getting snagged. So it was quite dangerous.
So I see here that you have a book with all the caves in Jamaica.
Yes, this book was actually published in 1997, and it's called Jamaica Underground.
Nice.
And some caving professionals have mapped all the caves and sinkholes in Jamaica. So here in the book, we have a diagrammatic representation of God's Well. We can see here, this is the land, and this is the 80-foot drop down to the water, and this is the water underneath. This circle here represents the top section here, to show you how wide it was.
So based on this drawing, do you think it's an accurate drawing of the actual cave based on your experience diving there?
I didn't go down as far as the end here to really say if this is accurate. One of the things though to remember is that this book was from 1997, the incident was 1985, and over the years a lot of debris could have fallen into the system, as well as there could be a lot of silt. So I didn't go to the very end to be able to confirm that this was the actual shape of it. But the persons who made the book are experienced persons at mapping out caves, so I'm sure it would have been accurate at the time.
So here on the map I realized that there's a bunch of caves in Jamaica that I didn't even know exist. Because I've explored caves in this area, but look at all those dots. Like those are unexplored caves, I haven't been to them.
As we can see, the book is full of all different caves that have been explored. These are some of the caving people who will be mapping out the caves for purposes of recording them for this book.
Look at that.
Some of them are quite narrow, quite pretty at the same time.
Okay, this
it's
one.
Beautiful, yes.
Does it show where it is located?
It says here Jackson Bay.
Jackson Bay. Nice.
It's really nice. I think it's just to be safe,
I think I went to this cave before,
It says
we call it Water Cave.
Yes, that's what it said. Water Cave Chamber.
Yes, I actually been to this cave, guys.
And that was Jackson Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
Actually, I have footage from
Oh,
there.
lovely. Some more here.
And it has
Jackson Bay
some
as
really
well.
nice formation. Like how you see this formation
Yes.
almost like human built.
Yes.
We saw some formations like that in
It's
Water
lovely.
Cave. Nice. And it shows you a mapping of the cave. Is it this way? Nice. Gremlin Cave, that song.
Trelawney.
Yeah.
I wonder why
I
it got
realized
that name.
most of the caves are in Trelawney.
I guess that's where the
Yeah,
limestone
limestone, there's a
formation
lot
is.
of
Yes.
a lot of limestone in that area. So it was a pleasure having you on the channel. I'm sure my audience learned a lot about these caves, and we're going to dive into it. Me and two other divers, me, David Lee, and Leon. We're actually gonna go there. We're gonna explore and dive to the bottom of God's well. So you will see that soon. So y'all just stay tuned for that, guys. So for right now, we're just gonna jump into the adventure. All right.
You didn't measure, wait, the ladder tall enough?
Yeah, it's enough in.
Okay.
Oh, I try it. Since I roll out there now. Alright, link man.
Yeah, you measure it already, I just guess it.
Guess it. So let that bad boy. Look at that business.
So you find a sign of new life, I know where that look for it.
You also have a be a Asian sitting on like some caveman thing. Alright.
Alright. Roger first I test the rope because I make it, so I'm going to test
My
it.
invention. Alright, so here goes nothing. First time the rope I ever test, guys. The rope leather, so. Alright. Good to go. A bad man.
They say it's sturdy?
Yeah, it's 30 man.
Alright, that is it.
You know forward? That's that. Only thing you step them kind of long though. You step them? Yeah.
Oh, the gap between them?
Yeah.
Why you do it that way there?
Whenever they are calculated good man. It's easier than last time dog.
Alright, better than nothing.
Long man. Lem punta. The rope leather bad man. And this one for going in the cave also man. This is Valentino kind of. Yeah, Valentino. Right now we just prep everything, clear the road and send down the ladder, the guideline, and we have some rope guys. We're going to use make a float line for go down to the bottom of the well guys. Check that out. Yeah man. You're not cool. You cool? No sir. You're not cool. Perfect. No man. Hey, so Noel, you want to slide down?
Above first. Look above on it first.
You good man at that? I climbed down on the last time.
Oh, good man.
That's your guide rope. Finally made it. You guys are late, man.
A little bit, you know. Google and Waze and so on.
Yeah, I'm finally here now.
Outside.
Yeah, we're outside near the old side. We're on the old side right
Old
now.
side, alright. Yeah, it's a punta send long a bag.
Oi.
Yeah man, so right now, I'll make a quick release knot. We send down the tanks, look at this. One pull, that's it.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna send them down on the ledge guys. Oh, watch it. Yeah man. Make sure it's good. Alright. So gonna send it down on the ledge. Alex is right there. He's right there, so we'll send down the tank them by rope. Ready Alex? Fire in the gloves a while ago in a boy. You got it? Yeah, don't hold the rope, it's gonna pull. Yeah.
If I can say everybody, this is very dangerous.
Alex, it's stuck. Wait, fix the nut.
This is a fourth and final tank.
Thank you, sir. Sure. Ready, Alex?
Whoa.
What's the kind of some money? Yep. What? All right, ready? Down we go.
And it's down.
All right, bro, that's the last tank. All right. You jumping again, Lee?
I will, but not right now. Let's go get this dive done and we can do all of the fun shit afterwards.
So right now we just get down the stuff. We have a scuba gear. We have David coming down.
No,
Actually, I'm gonna wait till David comes down here.
Nope.
No, she not.
No, not right now. I'm gonna let Alex move first and then I'll come down.
Yeah, man.
That's not a lie.
For we test the lead already.
Yeah. Oh man. Yo, I saw this make for some tall people.
Hold on on the rope instead.
Yeah,
of-
watch your...
Yeah, hold on the side, yeah. Long step and one more.
One more long step.
Alright guys, so I'm going down. What that?
Fish.
Rock? How show that?
Kure. So there was deep. I know so much better.
That's not reach on it, man.
Ejabel. I know so much better.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, take a pass that other cat canoe so I can strap it on. Yo. Alright. So that's why I have to.
Oh, you're not putting on a suit?
No, but too much work, man. Yeah? Yeah. No? This is perfect, bro. Yeah. Alright, pass me the mask. And you go for it.
Oh.
Cameras, I hope everybody battery up and running.
Yep. Right now, we're just getting ready to make our descent. So down we go. here. We're doing some drops, taking some really nice photos. Me and Lee, Alex.
Crocodile. I heard about it.
Black you, man. That's so. Choke off.
Yeah, I got it. Good. Good. Yeah. Did you saw it?
What?
No.
You swim right past David.
I don't want to see it.
Yo, that was hey Lee.
Yeah.
We find one.
Black.
So let me the mom and dad are somewhere.
Huh? Yeah. Guys, we see about the crocodile. Here's him over there. That's him over there.
Right in the water.
Yeah, right. You see right at the end of the stick out to this side? Yeah, the crocodile right there, so.
Look at the crocodile now.
Look out at that stick there, Jerome.
The stick we're going to keep?
Yeah. You see where the light is peeking down on the stick?
That big
Right at the tip of the stick.
Yeah. Look at the
See my climb up there?
See him up on the front side.
That's crazy.
Crawling up on the end of the stick. See there?
Yeah, see him there.
Oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever.
You don't see him? The
Lee, you
stick
want
coming out in the light.
to go back?
Yeah, we're definitely.
You want to go catch him?
Yeah, man, I'll go back. Go
Where's
video.
my camera?
Alright guys, so we'll jump back in the water and we're gonna try and get a footage of the crocodile. Leanne says she wants to see him.
Sticking out of the cave.
Him looking to
Rockstones,
Oi! Nothing drop on you?
No. So, we need to put on the fins?
Yeah. I will
Yeah.
use this boat.
Ready?
Yeah, let's go. I can't wait to see the footage of the crocodile.
Yeah.
I'm stoked about
Alright guys,
that,
so right now we're kind of wrapping up things. We're packing up, sending up the tanks. Alex, a good boy? Yeah. So it was a pretty nice dive, guys. We saw a crocodile. Can you imagine that? Would you have thought that there would have been a crocodile in here?
Yeah.
No, didn't think that at all. No.
Yeah, so.
Last thing we were thinking about is a crocodile, but obviously there's. Oh, sorry.
Repeat.
Alright guys, so the deepest part of the well is actually right there. That's where the cave is.
Yeah, there's not much of a cave. I think it's gotten filled up over the years.
Yeah.
So it's really shallow. It just kind of has this little curve. I went to 141 feet. Raj went in a little bit further.
I went down to 150 guys.
Yeah. So he definitely went in, and by looking at the time, I was just like, Raj, time to come out. So that's why he brings me, so I can be the one to jerk him up.
yeah.
But he did excellent. No narcosis, nothing, right?
Yeah,
Felt
nothing
good?
felt good. Alright now guys, we come down to the end of the dive. We're actually
Yep, I am.
packing up the stuff, sending them up. Alex, you cold, man?
Oh, no. I'm okay now.
Yeah, I'm getting it. So she can watch herself on a flat screen. Big scream. I'll try to post this Sunday. Alright, so I'm the last one left to go. Take your time. Yeah, I made it. God will.
No,
This was one of the best adventures from here start.
What a nice doing.
You see about the crocs? Alright guys, so that is a wrap. Don't know.
Is that all cut you know and I just dig it off? It's a regular thing, man.
Yeah, man.
My foot them not pretty though.
Alright, so Leanna go pull up the depth when I watch the deepest where she went. I think you said you did 100 and...
I did 141. There's it, 141.
Well, I'll make sure them
The
see,
lighting?
make sure them see it good enough.
141.
Yeah, man.
Let's see.
So you see, there's no joke, guys. Down in the well.
Yeah,
Noel,
you don't know.
listen, next time you go down 170.
One day.
And it's cold water, 73 degrees.
And the coolest thing, guys, we get to see a crocodile.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That was the cherry
Leon
on
could
top.
almost touch it, you know.
I could have touched it, but I was trying to respect the...
Crocodile small enough so the mother and father when I
They say the mother and the father of the boat. Yeah, man.
Yes,
Alright, guys, so you see that? I'll wrap up the video right now. Touch out and get some food and then head home. So, see you guys in the next one.